Hey guys, I'm Robert Drysdale. This is Mike Orr. I'm going to be showing you guys a submission from side control now. So I'm going back to my 100 kilo side control. That means is I'm keeping my shoulder really heavy on his face. I got my underhook. I'm leaning on him a little bit. I'm putting as much weight as possible. I'm just not overdoing it. I'm just not throwing myself over him. I just try to stay close and tight. I'm always hiding my face. Now, different way of controlling side control would be if I threw my arm over his shoulder and I turned my base around. So now I'm facing his legs. Kind of like a butt flop, and now I'm facing his legs. Still have his arm under control. Now what I'm going to be doing from here is I'm going to be fighting for his wrist. I'm going to be controlling his wrist with these two fingers right here. You see this? Got his wrist. That's what I want right there. Okay? Now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be moving myself over him until I lock this position right here. Now once again, just like the key lock from mount, I want my wrist to be straight. I don't want this right here. This makes it easier for him to defend himself. I want my wrist to be straight and I'm pressing against his stomach. This is what I want right here. Okay? Notice that I keep my right arm as close as possible to his elbow. A very common mistake is people try to wrap the arm around the armpit. And this might finish him, but he's a lot stronger here because his shoulder's on the inside. I want to isolate his arm. So I'm just going to lock his elbow. This is a much better, we call this position Kimura. Okay? Or Americana, whatever. Some people call it Americana, others call it Kimura. So I got it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my base around. And as I turn my base around, I'm going to bring him up just a little bit. And I keep my elbow on his hip. You see this? I butt flop to the other side. Now all I'm going to do is step over his face and finish Mike right here. That's my position. Notice that I keep a 90-degree angle. Okay, I don't want him stretching his arm. He'll try to. So I'm not really pushing away with this hand. I'm finishing with my right arm. This is what I'm doing right here. That's my position. So, very common mistake. And there's not only one way of finishing the Kimura from side control. There are different ways of doing it. This is like one way I like to do it. Some people stand their knees, and it's not wrong. If I'm here, they get this right here, and they lock it. See how I have a 90-degree angle? I'm going to make sure I keep that. A lot of people, when they finish, what they do is they push with this hand. And when I push with my left hand, what I'm doing is I'm helping him straighten his arm. And that's what he wants. Because now if he rotates his arm, he's out of it. You see that? So I want to make sure I keep this angle as close as possible to me. I want to keep this 90-degree angle. I don't want his arm to be straight. I want this angle. So when I keep it, I lock it. From here, I can also step over his head like this and then finish. But notice that my forearm is right next to his elbow. It's not back here. I don't want this right here. He's stronger here than he is out here. I keep my chest on his elbow and I finish. Okay? I know you guys probably know there's two different ways. The first one and this one. And you could probably come up with another. I can come up with like another 10 ways of doing this. It doesn't really. There are different ways of setting it up. I just want you guys to understand the basic principle of the Kimura, which is 1, I'm controlling his wrist. 2, I'm maintaining an angle. 3, I'm not trapping his shoulder. I want to trap it as close as possible to his elbow. Okay? I'm keeping it tight, always tight. My wrist, both my wrists are flat. I don't want that angle on them. You see that? And I'm not pushing with my left hand when I finish. I'm actually using my right elbow. So if I'm going to butt flop, I'm going to keep this right here, step over his head, and now I'm going to finish. Now the reason I step over his head is if I try to finish here, Mike might come up. Now I'm bottom, and I'm probably not going to finish it here. So go back. So that's why when I butt flop, I got to make sure I step over his face so he doesn't come up. And now I finish. You guys see that? That's my Kimura right there.